So let's begin, guys. First of all, again, welcome everyone. Good morning. Thank you for coming in. That's very nice of you. That means a lot. And let's start with the first topic. The first topic will be the market condition. Now, the market condition is something that can change, in a single day. For example, the last time we spoke was Thursday. And when we spoke on Thursday, the big boards were in a good shape. Right now, the big boards and even the cryptocurrency, the Bitcoin, is on the way down. So it might affect the OTC, it might not affect the OTC, but this is definitely something we do need to consider. And still, something about the market condition, we always want to go with the market and not against the market. Last week, we saw massive runners, for example, the stock FIL, FHIL, that ran massively on a huge amount of volume. It was about, I think, $5 million on Friday in a half day. So that's a lot. So in my opinion, trip stocks will get more attention this week because of this reason. We will see more stocks. Maybe, for example, people are going to ask, hey, Penny, why did you enter ICTY? So the reason I entered ICTY on Friday, it was Friday almost at the close. They had a nice tweet, but they tweet almost the same identical tweet once in a while. But because Phil was a bit better and I saw that more eyes are coming into trip stocks, especially high trip stocks, for example, 6s, 7, 8s. So that was a good, so that's why I choose to take ICTY, and we're going to see if it's going to pay. Maybe it's not going to pay, but this is the reason. More good stocks to watch for this week with some anticipation. Of course, ILST. They're supposed to have a update regarding the merger. They said they will have it in 2 weeks. And if I'm not mistaken, the news were a week ago. So this week we should see news from ILST. KATX, KATX, is the next one from Karen Courier. She's kind of a custodian. She holds a lot of shares and she's looking for a reverse merger into the shares. So she said that the next one in line after ILST is KATX. So in my opinion, for this week, we're going to see a nice market. I think today and tomorrow, we're going to see more volume coming into trip stocks, especially high trip stocks. And I hope all of us will take advantage. Now, if anyone have a question, if anyone wants to add something, this is the time. Pikachu, Trick, Asaf, anytime you can add anything.
Yeah, well, I totally agree with what you're saying. We might see some trips move because of Phil. It really depends on what it does today, because if it tanks, I guess it won't help trips, but if it does a multi-day run, it might get the trips, like the high trips, moving.
Definitely, I agree with you. That's the key. If it's gonna have the second strong day too, we might see a continuation also to other stocks to get some sympathy to high trip stocks. But if it will crash, like Asaf said, it's gonna be, everything I said is not even relevant. So that was the first topic about the market condition. Right now, I want to share with you about something you might know or you might not know, that in the trips or anyway in the OTC, when a fresh story starts, for example, a fresh merger is always better than an old story. For example, we saw HVCW with a fresh merger because there is a lot of new due diligence. Nobody's seen it yet, and they have a new CEO, and they have a new website, and many new exciting things. So in the OTC, new is exciting. Always remember that the initial run, in almost any case, is going to be much bigger, much more significant than the secondary run. Or sometimes, like in the case of Phil, of FHIL, they always had big numbers in the news. For example, they had news about 3 billion acquisition or some kind of merger, but nobody paid attention. So in this case, very old is new as well, because nobody actually was paying attention to them. But when the chart made a full reset and they had this massive news once again. So that was the exact time the stock went. So remember, very old sometimes is also new in the OTC. Again, if anyone have a question or anyone wants to add something, this is the time. No questions, they say. Okay, the next topic. Pikachu, you want to tell us about the next topic? About anticipation and expectation. And I wanted to give the ILST example.
About what?
About anticipation and expectation. How do we play on a play that have a lot to expect?
Yeah, so usually in the OTC where you have high expectation, you will see most of the time an uptrend until that date of expectation or anticipation, doesn't matter. And most of the times where that news is going to hit, or that something that we all expect, if it's a tweet or if it's some sort of merger or something like that, most of the time there will be sell the news. That's why I would like to go in early. Most of the time before anyone notice that expectation or whatever it's going to be. And if you have patience, then you can go in very, very early, like WNFT gave an incredible opportunity about 1 month ago, where they said that the court case was delayed for 1 month after it was supposed to happen, and then the stock gapped down massively and it tanked pretty hard. But those who bought, I won't call it dip because it wasn't a dip, but those who bought it when it was so low and held it 1 month, they had more than 50% with a very nice liquidity on that stock. So the stock started to uptrend towards that court case, which was the expectation. And now we have more expectations, but that's basically what's happening on most of these OTC stocks. Same for ILST. You can see that ever since they said 2 weeks from now we will have some more updates or something like that, you can see that the stock starting to uptrend and even got to a higher, got all the way up to 007 if I'm not mistaken, which was higher than the date that they released those news. So that's what you need to look out for when we talk about expectation.
One more thing I would like to add about expectation. ILST had, for example, ILST is a great example because it gave me personally about, I think, 5 or even 7 liquid trades of over 30%, and that's impressive. That's a lot of money. Sometimes less, sometimes more, but the fact that gave me so many trades, so many money-making opportunities, it's because I knew, and it's not that only I knew, everybody should have known that they have many, many updates coming. The only thing we didn't know is when they are coming. So I was taking advantage on any dip, and when the update hit, volume came in and I could sell again on the volume and then add the dip again because I know more things are coming up. So that's, guys, how you play the expectation. You can play multiple times the expectation, and that's the secret of the OTC basically. Just buy stocks with expectation on the way down, and when the expectation or when the news are coming out, the stock is definitely gonna go up, and that's basically the OTC. That's how we make money. That's the main idea. That's the philosophy of the OTC for me, if I need to sum it up in a couple of words. The next topic
Let me add one more thing, anyway.
Yeah.
Most of the time we will see sell the news. However, most of the time no one knows what the news is going to be. So there is also the analyze of the news that everyone needs to do. And if it's strong news, then it might not necessarily go down, but it can go even further up, and it can even explode harder and much more higher than you even thought it would be. But that's one thing that you need to consider. If the news will be not as high as the expectation, and I have one stock that I can give as an example, like GEGI. So we have very, very high expectations over there. So if the news is going to be just like those expectations or higher, the stock can go up and explode even harder. But if it's not going to reach those expectations, then most of the time there will be sell the news. And that's why we buy it when it's low and sell it on the way up. Obviously not as one piece, but you cut your profits along the way up.
Thank you, Pikachu. That's a nice insight. Now, the next topic we want TOT to talk about, trick of trips. We'll talk about the next topic is about trading being a game of probability. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Asaf is going to talk about it. You're going to wait.
No problem. Got it.
Yeah, so the next topic is about managing risks in this market. When you trade OTC stocks, you have to manage your risk because volatility is very high in those stocks, and there is some basic information you have to go through when you decide to trade an OTC stock. And what I mean is like the game of probability. Like, what is the probability of a stock we decided to trade to move, and what kind of move can it do? And the most important thing about a stock to make it move is actually it's one of the most important things is the SS, the share structure of the stock. It's really important to go to the OTC markets and look for the unrestricted shares of the company you want to trade, because when the stock is too thick, like it's fat, it has a lot of shares in the float, it will make the share price go slower. You know, like it's not like hard proof about you can expect it to go much slower up because it's thicker. So it's very important to look for this info. The next thing is dilution, because you want to know what's the sell pressure is about. Like, who is against us? Is it other retail players like me, like us, basically? Or there is like a CFGN or Paul or STXG? Does he play against us also? It's really important because it's more selling pressure than usual. It's you need to like consider that while you're trading that stock. Of course, it's all coming together, all those pieces, the share structure, dilution. You play with this info together. The next thing is what's the price of the stock right now, where it's standing. Did I came in bottom, like is it high? Did it already make a move? Does people talk about this stock? It's really important to look for this stuff, because sometimes I don't want to give examples, but some OTC stocks talk too much on social media and PR things that doesn't really give any new info, and they say every time news next week, and you need to know that this company is not really delivering, and you need to consider that while you're trading that stock and that company, because you don't want to get caught down on the sell the news part of the play. So this is like basic stuff when I trade OTC stocks. It's very important to look at this stuff when you decide to trade a company. And that's about it, I think. That's how you plan your probability of gaining in an individual stock. Yeah.
Thank you, Asaf. Couple of more things I will add about the trading, about the probability. So there is always a probability a stock that is no one is expecting to move is gonna, is gonna run huge. For example, we see RNVA at no bid right now, but who knows? RNVA can be, next week at a penny. Probably not. You see, there is a probability. So even if you decide to get into a stock like RNVA, even if you did your due diligence and you are pretty much sure that the price of the stock will go up, the probability is still low because of the history of the stock, because of the dilution, because of the high OS. So this is the reason. So even if you decide to go into a stock like RNVA, you will not put more than, I would say, 1% of your portfolio because you can lose it all. It's a no bid and then you can stack with your money. Imagine a person just buy 50% of his portfolio at RNVA and then it's sitting at no bid and he's not able to sell. So this is the reason it's always a game of probability. And one more important thing is cut your losses as fast as you can. It's super important. And this is basically the only way how not to get bagged. It's super important. Now, trick of tricks. This is your showtime. The next
Yeah,
topic.
yeah. So I
Unless you want
want
to add something.
to. Sorry?
Unless you want to add something to something me and Asaf said.
No, I think you summarized everything pretty much well. But I think I want to speak about is basically, um, let's say, what is the best way to analyze your improvement as a trader, and what methods do I use uh, in order to be, much more better from day to day. So basically, the first thing that I learned in this year was that market conditions are shifting pretty fast. Let's say that last year, almost every dip that you bought has paid a nice amount of money after a few days or weeks. And in, let's say, the beginning of this year, we saw quite the opposite. I mean, every time that we saw a dip, we eventually saw another dip in the next days or weeks. So that made me think that, something is changing and we need to adapt to the new market condition. So the first thing that I did was to look at all of my, let's say, trades. I basically analyzed each trade that I did in the past year, and I saw how much money I've lost or how much money I made from each one of them, and I wrote what I think that I do uh, wrong or good. And that basically the first thing that it helped me was to stop the, let's say, the shock that you kind of feel when you're in the middle of, let's say, a lot of confusion, and you feel like you're losing the pace, you're losing the basic understanding of the market. um so so basically, the first method that I used was to go, and that's what I do until now. I mean, every end of month, I'm going through all of my trades, and I see what I did wrong. And another thing that I do, and it's like I split the market for three different conditions. A slow market, a bull market, and what I called intermediate market. So in each market type, I have set of rules that they are basically said how much stocks I'm holding, what sizes, and what are the condition of each stocks. If I'm willing to buy stock that dilute. Sometimes I'm not even buying more than, let's say, three stocks. That's the first thing that I'm doing, and it's really important to be very consistent about it because this is the only way to keep growing. Another thing that I have to that I found that is really important is to know where when you are in a position that you cannot trade. And I can give you an example that if you analyze your executions and you see like that 25% of your of your execution are very impulsive. You buy the stock when it's high and not when it's low, not near support areas. So and you analyze that. Let's say that the reason that you're doing that is because that you entered into, let's say, FOMO. Let's say you saw some alert on Twitter, on I don't know, fighting RE or anything else. So the best thing will be, first of all, to close all the notifications and get yourself back into focus and to understand that eventually these are all ideas and some of them can be very good, but eventually you are the one who pressed the buy or the sell button. So sometimes that's like something that can save you a lot of money. Um, and basically, I think that's it.
Thank you for the insights. So basically what you said is to analyze the trades once a month, see what were your biggest losses, see what were your biggest wins, and try to understand why you lost the money. Maybe you see that it's a pattern. You always lose money when you enter on news. So definitely don't enter on news. This is something that is gonna improve you a lot. If you see you made a lot of money on a due diligence you made by yourself, so go ahead, do a due diligence by yourself. And definitely, as you said, if more than 25% of your executions are because you're impulsive, for example, news or somebody else tweeted and you wanted to, and you went into FOMO, you didn't want to miss the opportunity and you came in. So you're definitely doing something wrong. Don't be impulsive. Plan every execution. That's super, super important. Now, the last topic we wanted to talk about before the mindset and before the questions, we're going to let you to ask us a couple of questions. If you want to ask me, if you want to ask someone else. So it's social hacking. Now, when I mean social hacking is trying to reach the CEO, trying to reach the company as much as you can. Now, it's a numbers game. Of course, not every email you're going to send, you're going to get a reply. And let me tell you something, not even 1 of 10. But sometimes 1 of 100 emails can make you a lot of money, or a phone call, or an SMS, whatever you want to do, whatever you feel comfortable with. But the more you're going to try, the more information you might be able to get. And that can make you also a lot of money. So there are basically, many small ways to make money. Someone is very fast making money on news. Someone is doing more social hacking. But there are many, many ways. Try to adapt, try to see. That's why we analyze in the end of the month. I like to analyze also in the end of the day. So every day I analyze, every month definitely. I want to see. Maybe I made huge mistakes. We can always improve. We can always adapt. The OTC today is not the OTC that it used to be a year ago, and definitely not 2 years ago and not 3 years ago. OTC is changing, the trading is changing, everything is changing. And if you're not gonna adapt, you're gonna lose it all. So always, always, always try to adapt, try to learn. Of course, if you want to be a professional trader. If it's just a hobby, if you came, to do some maybe extra bucks, so this is something different. Maybe it's not relevant, everything what I'm saying. But if you want to take it seriously, if you want to be a professional trader, like me, Pikachu, Trick of Tricks, demolish stocks, so that's the way. Always trying to improve. That's the only way. Now, it's time for questions. Whoever have a question can ask us, feel free, or just add something. If you want to talk, ask for permission. We're going to let you talk. If you want to write it down, we're going to answer anyways.
Yeah, if anyone have any question or want to talk about something, please write
Feel
on the
free.
trading
Yeah.
floor.
And again, I will take this time to say thank you very much for everyone for coming. It means a lot. Thank you. We appreciate each one of you.
I hope everyone gained value. That's for sure.
Well, the best way to cut losses, we see the question of master coins. He said that regarding cutting losses quickly, can you elaborate a bit regarding the best way to cut losses quickly for beginners? The best way to cut losses quick is just to cut losses, put the emotion aside, having a strict plan, and of course to follow the plan.
Yeah, I
That's the
think
best way. There is no
yeah,
secret, there is no secret. This is
yeah,
the only way not to get bagged. This is the only way that 5 months after you're not gonna look at the stock that is 85, 90% down and you just pray. You have nothing to do.
yeah. The best thing, I think the most important thing is to have a plan, because if you don't have a plan in advance, sometimes you just skip your rules. So for beginners, I think it's one of the important stuff to have a plan. You don't enter a stock clueless. That's my point.
That's for sure. One more thing, maybe I will add while we read the questions. Also try to avoid a negativity or something you don't like. Try to avoid it as much as you can. Be calm. Live the good life you can. And that's it. That's also a huge. If somebody make you angry, something make you uncomfortable, just put it out of your life. That's make life much nicer, and of course trading much nicer. All right, I see we don't have a questions, and so we're gonna go to the last topic. It's the mindset, and as I said, mindset is about 80 to 90% for me personally. For being a trader, and positive mindset is super important in everything the life has to offer, and especially on trading. So again, there is a huge question: what you're gonna be? What do you want to be? You want to be a professional stock trader, or you want just a hobby? Some people take it part time, or some people take it as a hobby. I believe that if you're here, your dream is to be a professional trader. And guys, you definitely can do it. If I made it, if Pikachu made it, if the Molly stocks made it, couple years ago, about 6, 7 years ago, believe it or not, I was exactly at your point. No matter where you at, maybe you want to retire, maybe you are, on the having good days. I've been everywhere. I almost retired many times. I've been in FOMO. I've been exhausted. I've been everywhere. Before I became a profitable, consistent trader, it took me a lot of time. But what made it happen definitely is the positive mindset. So you always gotta be positive. One of the most important things you need to do is to set goals. Now, I want each of you to set goal right now for the next 4 months. The year is gonna end in 4 months. Each one of you think about the goal. If you want, write it down right now in the chat. Think about something that is very high but realistic, something you think you can achieve it. Of course, if your account is $2,000, don't think about $1 million. It's not gonna happen probably. Think about something realistic. And if you feel comfortable, write it down right now in the chat. Offside wanna make 100,000 by the end of the year. You will make it. Don't even laugh. I wanted to change the emoji to a serious emoji. Don't even laugh. You will make it. I have no doubt. Now, each one of you, whatever you put, whatever the goal you thought about, just multiply it by 3. This is what I want you to do. So if full stream wanted to do 100% of his initial portfolio, now he wants to do 300% of his initial portfolio. Just multiply it by 3. That's the way to do it. Now the second thing, it's not gonna work. Of course, if you're just gonna set a goal and not do anything, it's not gonna work. So every day, every morning, go all in. Do everything you can to be the best. Be a better version of yourself from the person you've been yesterday. Always see ways to improve. And you can always improve. There is no person in this room and there is no person in the world that knows everything. Always look to improve. Be dedicated to everything you do. Every day, learn something new. This is super important. And the last and maybe the most important thing is be patient. Sometimes when you rush things too much, sometimes our will, because we want so much to win a lot of money, It makes us to lose money because we rush. Don't rush things. It will come. Be patient. Patience, trading is all about patience. If you're gonna rush things, you can make mistakes. So be patient as much as you can. Be consistent. It's much more important. And always follow the plan you do, your trading plan. And that's the four things that will separate you from the rest, and that for sure gonna make you, a better trader than you are. Now, I want each one of you to ask himself, what do you want to be? You want to be a professional trader? You want to be not a professional trader? I know the answer, of course. So with this positive mindset, I want all of us to have a great week. Let's make a lot of money. Let's be a good people. And thank you so much again for coming. Let's have a blessed week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Good luck, guys.